There are moments in life when everything feels overwhelming. When the world gets loud, chaotic, unpredictable, and somehow in those moments, music hits harder. A lyric cuts deeper. A chord feels heavier. And a melody feels like it's speaking directly to you. It's not an accident. It's not coincidence. There's a reason music becomes a lifeline when life gets intense. Today, guys, we're exploring why. Emotionally, psychologically, and humanly. Music hits hardest when we need it the most. Welcome to Ampyre Sessions, where discovery meets rebellion. This is the show that takes you on a journey through the world of music, the risks, the legends, the hidden stories, and the lessons that certainly do fuel creativity. Here we break down the craft, the culture, and the chaos of sound, making it raw and unforgettable. Whether you're a musician, a fan, or just hungry for knowledge, Ampyre's your backstage pass to the rebellion of audio. So plug in, turn up. This is Ampyre Sessions. I'm your host, Dustin, and today, guys, we are diving into something universal. The way music becomes more powerful during the loudest seasons of our lives. Before we get into that, I just want to say I hope you guys listened to episode 18. Fantastic. I think it went really well. It might be a longer episode for you guys, but it's a really deep, honest storytelling dive into one of the best subcategories, I think, in podcasts today. So 100%. If you haven't listened to it, go check it out. I think it's going to be great. That is going to be our how we do them from now on. I just have to get through some of these older episodes that I did create just to get to the new ones because, you don't waste. But yes, we are going to dive into that. We are not talking about specific songs or clips. We're talking about experiences of music, why it comforts us, why it energizes us, why it feels like a friend when everything else feels uncertain. So let's get into the heart of it. Let's start with the emotional amplifier. When life gets intense, our emotions rise and music rises with them. So, 1, heightened emotional states, stress, change, excitement, grief. These states make us more sensitive to emotional cues, obviously, okay? 2, music mirrors emotion. Music reflects what we're feeling: chaos, hope, anger, relief, nostalgia, determination. 3, emotional resonance. When a song matches your internal state, it feels like you actually understand it. It understands you. 4, emotional release. Music gives us a safe outlet for feelings we can't express at all, guys. Sometimes we don't even know what we're feeling, but yet music tells us what we're feeling. It's really weird how that works. Why does this matter? Music doesn't just accompany emotion, guys. It amplifies it. Takes that what you are feeling and makes you understand it even more. So, move on to the next part of it. I've said this multiple times. Our brain loves patterns, right? So, what about when the brain is under stress? Does it still love patterns? When life gets chaotic, the brain looks for stability, and music provides it. 1, rhythm. It equals predictability. Your brain can predict it. A steady beat gives the brain something reliable to hold on to. Okay? 2, melody equals structure for your brain. Melodies carry patterns or create patterns in the brain so it can follow it. 3, harmony. It's the emotional framing. Okay? Harmonic movement gives an emotional context. And 4, repetition equals comfort. Repetition reduces cognitive load. Okay? It feels safe. It feels grounding. So you're probably like, Dustin, yes, you've said this multiple times on other episodes. I think it's different when you're feeling something under a tremendous amount of stress differently than you're just randomly feeling, okay? So why this matters, music becomes a stabilizing force when everything else feels unstable, so to speak, okay? Music is a memory trigger. Many people don't know that, but it can be used to bring up certain memories. It's tied to memories more strongly than anything else. I challenge you to go out and just cruise around town, maybe that one spot that you had as a kid that you really liked. Say you were at a park and on a date with a chick and you drive past that park. You're going to know what song hit at what time, and it's going to trigger emotional memories because that's what you remember from it. But yes, it doesn't have to be that situation, but I challenge you guys, go out there and find those moments and you'll realize that music played a pretty big part of it. So, 1, emotional memories. Songs remind us of who we are and who we're becoming, okay? You probably didn't notice, but you were listening to songs at an early age, and it was helping you grow and mold into the person that you are in the present, okay? 2, identity anchors. Music connects us to past versions of ourselves, i.e. my situation that I brought up earlier. It leads you to an anchor point in your life that you remember pretty honestly. 3, nostalgia as comfort. When life gets loud, nostalgia becomes a refuge. Nostalgia meaning you remember a certain part, and music was a part of it, or that song reminds you of it, you know. 4, memory repressing. Music helps us revisit old emotions safely, okay? Which is very true. And it doesn't have to be good or bad emotion. Let me clarify that. It lets you revisit old emotions in general safely, okay? So why does this matter? You're probably like, yes, I knew that. It didn't make sense. Music becomes a bridge between past and present, okay? A way to make sense of change, right? I can't really elaborate on that further more than I have. The role of lyrics, okay? Finding yourself in someone else's words, okay? Believe it or not, really good songwriting and storytelling can really change a sense of what your meaning is. So, even without quoting anything, we could talk about why lyrics hit harder during intense times. 1, emotional clarity. Lyrics articulate feelings that we can't put into words. By what I mean by that is you could be having one sense of feeling and you don't know what that feeling is, but immediately when you hear the song or beat or something, whatever that nature, find that you understand it. Okay. You can't put it into words, but you understand it. 2, validation. Hearing someone express your experiences make you feel less alone. Very true. So that's why you have that relation, in my opinion, with that artist or that band or whatever it may be. That's why you have that, is because you're looking for a sense of validation, because be like, oh, the way they just composed that song, that's exactly how I'm feeling. Like, that makes so much more sense. It's like, okay, I'm not alone in this. That's where the sense of validation comes from. 3, storytelling. Lyrics shape emotion that feels chaotic. It does. That's when, again, I even said that at the start of this segment. Lyrics shape the emotion, good storytelling, that feel chaotic. 4, universality. The best lyrics feel personal and universal at the same time. Okay. Why does this matter, though, at the end of the day? There's probably a couple pieces in there you didn't know, challenging you. Lyrics become emotional mirrors, okay? Reflections of what we're going through. And that is so true. That is why that matters. Because you could listen to instrumentals all day. It can make you feel a certain way, but until somebody puts a story on top of that, you're like, now I know what that song's supposed to mean, It gives it classification, so to speak. The body's response, music as a regulator. Music doesn't just affect the mind, guys. It affects your whole body. Now, I've probably said this in other ones, so it's going to be a little bit of a repeat. 1, your heart rate does sync. Your heartbeat can sync to rhythms. Yes, I've been an EMT for 6 years, but I'm not too sure if that's why when you do CPR, you're supposed to hum, staying alive, staying alive. I'm not too sure if that's the reason why, because it needs a rhythm. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. Maybe someone else that who knows a little more medical side of things can break that down for me. I would appreciate that. But yeah, I'm not too sure, but it does. It can sync to rhythm, and I do know that. 2, breath regulation. Slow music calms breathing, okay? While fast music energizes it, okay? It makes more sense. If you got a faster rhythm that your heart's getting accompanied to, imagine your breathing is going to catch up to it. 3, dopamine releases. Music triggers reward pathways. It does. If you can predict the way like a drop's going to hit or the bridge of a song, immediately your brain's going to release dopamine, rewarding you for that. It's just how it is. 4, cortisol reduction. This is something new that I added that wasn't in one of the first few episodes that I did. Cortisol reduction. Music can reduce the stress hormone, which is very cool. Does make sense as well. But yeah, why does this matter? You're probably like, why are we learning, the body? I thought this was a music podcast. It is. I just go literally in deep on everything about music. Anywho, music literally changes your physical state, okay? Which is why it feels therapeutic, which is why we're seeking in the medical field too to bridge that gap for new ways that music can heal people. That's why you're starting to develop like music therapy, things of that nature. Why do we seek music during transition? Okay. So life transitions is what I mean by that. Okay. Could be good. It could be bad. Doesn't matter. Okay. But it makes us reach for music instinctively. 1, change creates uncertainty. As humans, we're not wired for uncertainty. We like to know what's coming, right? We like to be in control of that. Music provides emotional grounding. Okay. 2, transitions create identity shifts. Music helps us redefine ourselves. Just like a good artist, they have to continue to redefine themselves as they get older. Your body does the same. 3, new chapters need new soundtracks. 100%. I 100% agree with this. So I encourage people that are going through huge transitions, like a breakup, divorce, stuff of that nature. And you're used to listening to this one music, but it's reminding you too much of that person or something of that nature. Switch what you're listening to. And, yes, they might be a part of your life and how you've structured yourself, but it doesn't have to identify. You don't have to identify by that. You could always choose music that matches who you are becoming, not what you were. There's a huge quote, and I will never forget this, by a man named Jelly Roll. He's like, no matter what you're going through, there's a reason that the front windshield is a lot bigger than the rear view mirror. Choose the music that you are becoming, not who you were. Okay, that will help you heal. 4, music helps us process. It slows us down. Okay, but then, depending on what you're listening to, it also speeds us up, and it helps us feel things, can get our feelings out. Okay, why does this matter? Music becomes a companion during transformation. People don't really understand that, but you really rely on it in your times of need or in times of praise, even, whether you're getting married or, you have a promotion or whatever it is, it can help. No matter good or bad transitions in life, music is there. Music hits harder when life gets loud because it meets us where we are. It's emotional, mentally, physically, and spiritually. It stabilizes us, flexes us, comforts us, and sometimes it pushes us forward when we need it most. Thank you guys for joining me on this emotional deep dive. If you are enjoying this January series, I encourage you go to ampyresessions.com. Look at the backstage pass, see if that's something that's interests you. You get full-length video episodes, exclusive interviews, members-only discounts on merchandise, and possible live links, and much, much more, guys. Join the rebellion today. Also, take a look at our merchandise there, ampyresessions.com/shop. From there, I will be adding, since it is January 1st, exclusive Valentine's merchandise to our featured items on our main page of our website. If you're interested in those, check them out. Cute gifts for the love of your life. Could also meet a new podcast that they enjoy just as much as you do. So please, yes, spread the word. I appreciate it. But you've been listening to Ampyre Sessions, where Discovery meets Rebellion. The journey doesn't stop here. Keep exploring, keep creating, and keep the fire alive. Till next time, stay loud, guys. Stay bold. Never fade into the noise. This was Ampyre Sessions.